Nicole Gruner. I am a wand maker, and my company is called Nova & Co. LLC. I started making wands because they're really fun, and when you go online, sometimes they're kind of short. They're not very long, and when you hold a short 12-inch wand in your hand, it's pretty much a stick. So we figured that if you have a longer wand, it feels more like a wand. It's a real wand. The people who usually buy our wands are people who are really interested in magic, who like Harry Potter, and pretty much into magic for a long time. As a voice actor, I'm actually fairly new to the career. I haven't had any jobs where there's been anyone with a wand or needed to use spells. I mostly do commercials right now, a few video games, and I have had an audition for a children's show. We actually have custom order forms. You can custom make your wand. If we have a wand, you can have it any color you want, any style you want, any shape. It's pretty much limitless. If you want something attached to it, we can do that to the best of our abilities.
We are the Madness of Wonderland. We make weapons. We call it the Bazaar of Blades. I used to make these for Halloween for our own costuming, and we figured, oh, let's do it for fun at a con, and we started doing it. We've been running 4 years now. This might be our last year because we're actually moving into the tabletop gaming, running games and activities there. Board gaming has really picked up over the past few years. Probably a lot of influence was from Will Wheaton, his tabletop show on YouTube. You go into like Walmart, Target, a lot of the board games are there now. So that is actually the really hot item. But I really enjoy, you know, crafting stuff and making weapons that I would use for my own costuming. I'm a licensed attorney, but I barely practice law. I also run a small nonprofit. For this, it's not quite my day job, but I do put a lot of time into it to get products out. I learned how to do this practicing on my own. When I first made the weapons, I was just like, oh, I have a sander, let me just sand some wood, see how it works. A lot of experimentation, stuff I learned in shop class from 8th grade. My skills were learned at New Valley Intermediate and UH. So I used to do a lot of art at the art department in UH. A lot of people buy cosplay items because a lot of times they don't have the equipment or the time to craft their own. So we craft items that might not be completely tailored to the anime crowd in terms of like making replica weapons. I just make my own. Well, whatever fantasy pops into my head, we create it. I really enjoy running larger events and a lot of games. For tabletop, at least for this con, we're doing the giant size King of Tokyo. We'll be running that later tonight. It's based off of the King of Tokyo board game, but we made it really huge. We also are running the Cardboard Mega Brawl on Saturday, where we encourage a lot of nerdiness, where people dress up and make cardboard armor and then they fight each other in a regulated, safe environment. You will use this weapon for good, not evil, fight the forces of imaginary darkness, and not fight my brother with it.
Or your little brother.
Or my little brother with it.
My name is Mina of Dinnercrew Crafts. I'm one of 6 creators of this business. We're a bunch of friends who do this for a hobby. This is called perler art. It's actually a plastic beads that you put on a board and you iron it together. It's super fun and colorful. We have all kinds of different designs, and as you can see, they can get from really small to really big, beautiful art pieces. So you can do whatever you want with it. We have these little guys, like little standees you can put on your office table, or you can wear them as necklaces. So there's a lot of different cool things that you can do with it. People of all ages buy our products. It's just super fun and retro is kind of a hot thing right now. So it's just been really popular as every year we expand. We started off with 1 table, and now we're 3 tables, as you can see. We've done Kawaii Kon, Amazing Con last year. That was the first time. We're also going to be there again this year, and Hoku Con is also another one that's coming up in July. We've also done some small things, craft fairs or art and flea. We have products that range from keychains, necklaces, coasters, magnets, or just simple wall art pieces. So we do have full-time jobs. This is just a hobby really, and we enjoy it. We get to be at the con and be with people who enjoy the same things, and it's super fun to have a relaxing thing to do here and there, and it's nice that we can share it with a community of the same mindset. But I, for example, I'm a sales associate. My husband, he's a sales supervisor for Oceanic Cable. And then we also have someone who works with Kaiser Hospital. So there's a lot of us that we're all professionals. Dinner Crew is a name that we gave ourselves because we would meet up every so often a week to go eat dinner. And that just became our little nickname.
Hey, hi, I'm Phil Dorr. I'm the owner and founder of Archery for All. I started this business coming up on 3 years ago now. Basically archery-related services for kids, adults, teenagers. We started doing parties and events, corporate events, community events. We got a lot of requests to teach, so we started doing after-school classes. Now we have that going. We have almost 100 students over about 10 schools. Broaden that to more expanded birthday parties. We now offer a thing called Dodge Bow, which is an interactive archery experience where people have a chance to use their strategy and their skills and try and shoot their bow and arrows at their friends and their family and their loved ones in a safe and responsible way. Years ago, I was a finance executive for a large multinational corporation. Living overseas, had a really successful career. Very rewarding in its own way, but I kind of felt that I didn't have enough fulfillment through that kind of work, and I was looking for a way to connect with the customers, try to expand on my kind of introversion that I had. I wasn't quite that outgoing when it came to meeting people, so I was trying to find a way when I came to Hawaii to do some consulting, and I realized very quickly I didn't have any marketing skills to try and reach out to people. So I was on the mainland about 3 years ago with my daughter. We found this inflatable, and I've met the owner, the person who made those, and basically dragged it back to Hawaii. I said, no one here has that. This will force me to get out there and talk to the customers, do the cold calls, practice my sales, deal with rejection, and take that in the right perspective to help me grow. And that's what I did. Well, I got to tell you, here at Kawaii Kon has been one of the most memorable events that we've been fortunate enough to support. These guys are really amazing here. There's a big variety of people that come here and experience it. There's interest from both boys and girls related to the recent movies like The Hunger Games. In terms of whether girls or boys like it better, I'd have to say that both of them like it, but in a different way. Girls seem to, for my students, what I tend to realize is girls get a little bit more focused, and boys generally get a little bit more creative. So they want to shoot in the sky, they want to shoot their friends. So in terms of teaching, that's really been a lesson for me in how to teach the kids.
You've probably seen my work as the biggest thing is probably the local kind cards that you see in all the stores. I do a comic strip regularly for the Star advertiser called Calabash. I also do work for L&L, Bank of Hawaii, all these different local companies as well. So you've seen my work somewhere. When I was growing up, there was nothing to do. I was an indoor kid, so there was no internet, there was no video games, there was no cable, DVDs or whatever. So the only thing I liked doing was drawing, and it was something that entertained me. I love reading comics, I love reading the Sunday funnies, and that's something I just loved doing, and it kept me occupied. When I went to the University of Hawaii, I decided to go into art. It's one of those, like, there wasn't really a clear path to the cartooning, so I took drawing and painting, printmaking, and all these other courses, but I did a daily comic strip in the school newspaper called the Kaleo of Hawaii. One of my mentors was Dave Thorne, and he taught cartooning for the DOE for a long time, and he was basically the guru of all cartoonists, not only here but everywhere. And he basically took me in as a student. I learned everything under him and under his wing, and it was through him I met Burl Burlingame, and Burl actually offered me opportunity to submit cartoons to the Star Bulletin at the time, and later it became the Star Advertiser, and that's how I have a regular comic strip called Calabash. 12 years ago, Kawaii Kon came, and it was something that we never heard of before. It was a convention, and there was nothing like it in Hawaii before. So just as a person attending, I just decided, okay, check it out. And it was really small. It started off in Ala Moana. It was really tiny. And so we looked around and everything, and they came back the next year, and we started noticing it was getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And then we found there was an opportunity, especially for artists, to kind of like showcase their work as well as for meet their fans. One thing about Hawaii is a lot of it is word of mouth. So if somebody knows your work, they'll tell somebody else. Now, even more so now with the internet, social media, and so forth, it's a great way to like get your work out as well. I was very fortunate, a couple friends of mine, Gail Machida and Paulie Sono, they decided that they wanted to start a business, and they wanted to do a line of local humorous greeting cards because there was nothing like it that existed. So we all met at University of Hawaii on Miley Way, so that's why it's called Miley Way Products. And so they needed an artist, and so believe it or not, I believe this is our 19th year we've been doing it. Yeah, so we're going to reach 20 years next year. My newest product is Gordon Ryder. It's the 11th year I've been doing it, but issue number 9 just came out. And basically it's a kind of a parody of like the Japanese superheroes. So like Kamen Rider, Kikaida, and Power Rangers and all that, but he's kind of a misfit superhero.
I'm Audra Furuichi, and I do a comic for the Honolulu Star Advertiser every other Sunday called Blue Hawaii. It features our pup. His name is Blue, and he has some interesting adventures with some of his friends that are very kind of everyday life moments. I've done art for pretty much all my life, and cartooning I started in college. I did a comic called Culture Shock for the Kaleo o Hawaii that actually won an award in 1999-2000 called the Charles M. Schultz College Cartooning Award. So that was my first big break in this whole world of comics. My husband and I, Scott, actually started doing Nemu Nemu back in 2006 as a project that we wanted to do together because we both had a background in comics. And it's sort of just grown from there. Nemu Nemu is based off of the Japanese word nemui, which is sleepy. So when you put like when you have tokidoki, it means sometimes, right? Because time to time. So Nemu Nemu, in the way that we had intended for the comic, was to mean sleepy, sleepy. So take every moment as it comes. Every day, enjoy every moment. I've seen Kawaii Kon from the very first year. We helped out in the Artist Alley with a different group of artists, and we came back in 2007 as exhibitors. We were upstairs in the ballroom, and it's grown tremendously over the years. For me, what sells are my pups. I also sell my comics, which are self-published, and it's just a compilation of all of the comics I've done over the years. We have a lot of local customers. We have a very strong local base here in Hawaii that have been super supportive of my endeavors. Nemu Nemu is constantly in growth. I'm looking to expand my comic into bigger and better things, aside from just what I do for the newspaper as well as what I do online. So I really am interested in growing as an artist.
Stick around, we have more in store for you after a word from our sponsors. Hit it, boys!